Let's give the newcomers a little context. We traveled nearly 700 kilometers to buy a 1976 GMC Vandura motorhome. We broke down while trying to drive it home. We rescued said motorhome from the depths of despair using a towing company. We gave it some maintenance, a tune, replaced some parts, and we have it running great. We had it in for our inspection. After that, we completely scrapped the motorhome, and now we're diving back into building this 50-year-old GMC into one of the coolest flat deck haulers you've ever seen. Thanks for clicking on the video, guys. When we bought the GMC Vandura 3500, we knew, notice the front quarter there was a little bit of bubbling, a little bit of rusting. But I thought it was just a little bit of surface type degradation until I started carving in and digging in to repair it. And then I saw that front fender, that little flare there, is actually rotted. So we're going to need to replace that. So we're going to dig into some bodywork. Luckily, I have that project vehicle, or that donor vehicle, sorry. And we're going to cut that piece directly out of there. Now you might be wondering why we don't just replace the quarter like you would on a modern vehicle. Just pull off that whole front quarter and replace it. And that is because in these old Vanduras, those panels were structural, so they were entirely spot welded in all the way around to the subframe of the vehicle. While we're here, we're also going to snatch out that giant side panel because we're going to need some of this steel for another project on the Vandura. I was speaking to my brother the other day, and I was saying, you know, a lot of people, because they're looking at this vehicle and they remember seeing as an old junky RV, they have this perception. I can tell from some of the comments both in the comment sections of the video and the comments about talking to locals and stuff. They're thinking when this thing is done, it's still going to be an old beater, an old junker, rat rod truck, just an old junker for hauling some lumber or something. That is not the goal of this project. If I just wanted just some old thing to haul something, I could have just bought a trailer. I have the ability to do that. But what would be the fun in that? My goal here is to learn as much as I can, to do as much as I can into building a truck for myself, something that I'm proud of, something that I'm excited to use, and that can really be a piece of accomplishment for me, to learn a lot and to put some effort in. You guys know that I very rarely, if ever, do something really like half-assedly, really part ways, you know. I like to do a good job when I set out to do something, and that is my goal with this project. We're going to need a 4x8 sheet of steel to cover in the back of the cab. However, the cab is closer to 4.5 feet tall. So we're going to need to add in a strip of 16 gauge material. So that's why I'm cutting out the piece you see here. Now I just roughly cut out that fender, cutting it out much larger than I knew I would need. So now that I have it here by the vehicle we're working on, I kind of overlaid it, marked out just how much fender we needed, and now I'm trimming it down to that size. The inner fender here is actually quite solid, a little pitting near the bottom there, the very bottom corner, but overall still very solid. At this point, I'm pretty confident that if you have enough patience, you can weld together almost anything. This 16 gauge material here is actually pretty light, it's pretty light duty, but with enough patience, you can pull it off, no problem. I'm debating here, right here we have a butt joint. Right here I just have the slightest little bit of lap. I was thinking about tracing along with a cutting disc, but because it's only 16 gauge material, I think I might leave it lapped. And I can just fade it in with some body fill. It'll be a lot easier to weld. A butt joint is very easy to just pierce through with your weld. A lap joint like this make my life a lot easier. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll admit, I was pretty intimidated to carry out this part of the project, to fix this fender here, even though it's not a major key to the project in terms of structure, how things turn out. It is on full display all the time, so it has to be good, and I'm very proud of how it turned out. The results speak for themselves. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if it's your first time here, leave me a comment, and I really hope to see you in the next video.